My rape story. Hope it is okay, even if I don't really ask for advice. I just want to share what happened to me as a way to process it, as I still has PTSD from it 15 years later. But also that you can get a good life after with the right help, even if up to you to be willing to fight. And this is a pretty long story. I live in the northern part of Sweden and has done my whole life and until I was 14 years old. With my sisters, I am a triplet and my 4 half-siblings on my father's side and 1 half-sister on my mother's side. I lived in one of the suburbs of the nearest town or city with about 50,000 inhabitants, and well, even if I wasn't bullied, I have always been the outsider, as I have always been kind of introverted and belonged to the rare inch on the empty scale. So I was the invisible Poindexter with barely a handful of friends apart from my sisters, who still today are 2 of my best friends, even if we are very different, as they are very extrovert. Now to what happened. The weekend just a week after my 14th birthday, 2006, my sisters had finally succeeded with getting me invited to a party. And while we were there, one of the older guys who hosted the party, who was in his early 20s, started to hit on one of my sisters, and she finally snapped and told him to leave her alone if he didn't wanted his face bashed in. And yes, my sister has a real temper. The evening went on, and in the end I felt tired, as my arthritis wish I have had since. I was 6 years old, Googled juvenile idiopathic arthritis. So I told my sisters that I was going home. What I didn't notice was that the guy who was hitting on my sister followed Med Toeter with 3 of his friends, and did catch up with me. And soon I was surrounded by them, and they started to taunt me. And suddenly they dragged me out into the forest next to the walkway, where they beat me up pretty bad before they violated me as they took turn. I am actually a bit unsure of how long, as I at times slipped in and out of consciousness, as a few of the kicks had hit me in the head. When they finally left me, I was barely able to move. When I finally got up, I managed to limp my way home and collapsed on the floor when I had got into the hallway. The next thing I remember is waking up at the hospital. Some of you might have read my posts regarding how my mother took it, and we are on non-speaking terms. Anyway, TG police questioned me and I told them everything of what happened, including gave them the names of the ones who did it. I was at the hospital for a week and got back to school 2 weeks after the assault. And well, I can say that my mother wasn't the only one who abandoned me. Apart from my sisters, I just had one friend left and was the pariah at the school, as I was seen as the party pooper as the frequency of parties dropped as the party fixers was in custody. Among other things, I got called names, got my locker vandalized, and also was subjected to physical violence. My sisters tried to protect me as good as they could during the breaks, but I was in Class 8A and they in Class 8B.